My guest today is Whitney Jones, 3 times Ms Fitness Olympia, the best in the world, and a very successful businesswoman. Welcome to the show. Our viewers would love to hear your story.
I was enjoying the journey. I was enjoying the challenge.
You won one of those competitions with a broken leg. Can you tell us about how you dealt with this challenge mentally?
I have 2 arms and I've got 1 leg. Nothing can stop me. There is always a positive that you can find. Gotta find a way to look at the bigger picture. Otherwise, you are wasting days, hours. You're wasting your life on the negative mindset that will get you nowhere.
Welcome to the Lee Labrada Show.
Brought to you by Lean Body, the #1 protein shake in gyms across America.
Welcome back, you guys. As you know, my show is all about helping you improve your physical, mental, and spiritual health. So I make it a point to bring on experts that can help all of us improve in these areas. And before I introduce our next guest, could you do me a favor and drop me a comment? It would mean a lot to me to get some feedback on the show, and that way I'll know what you guys like. My guest today is Whitney Jones, 3 times Ms Fitness Olympia. And not only is Whitney an amazing athlete, but she's also a mother of 2 and a very successful businesswoman. She is one of the most positive people I've ever met and has a wealth of knowledge to share with us on how to develop a winning mindset, how to overcome fears, and how to overcome challenges. Now, if you're like me, you know that learning how to keep a positive attitude is part of developing yourself and being the strongest, healthiest you that you can be. Whitney, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much. I'm happy to be a guest and honored. And obviously, with your legacy, being part of this is a huge, huge excitement. It's a highlight of the month for me. So I appreciate the opportunity.
We're glad to have you here. Now, Whitney, we were reintroduced by our mutual friend, motivational speaker Joe Polish. But I actually met you before at, I believe, the Nationals when my son Hunter was competing. And, Whitney, you are the best in the world in professional women's fitness. Just an amazing career. And I know that our viewers would love to hear your story. How did you get interested in women's fitness? What was that road to the top like?
Well, it's kind of ironic and probably not the answer that anyone expects, but I was an athlete all my life. I had 2 older brothers. So, and I was the youngest. So growing up, I was always down for a challenge. Well, I actually got into the sport out of a dare because someone said, there's no way you could do this sport. And I didn't have a ton of background on the sport, but I just know that when someone says I can't do something, it instantly lights a fire for me to go, oh yeah, I'm going to prove you wrong. So that's literally how I got in the sport. Now, I was not as familiar with fitness. I'd seen it, back in the day when it used to actually be on TV, but I didn't understand the correlation. So I did figure as my first show. And then I saw these girls side stage, in costumes, and they were just having fun. And everyone over here was just kind of like drained. And I thought, I like their vibe. So I thought, I don't know what they're doing, but I want to do that.
They're having a lot more fun.
What's that?
They're having a lot more fun.
Yeah, I just thought, whatever it is they're doing, I'm attracted to energy and fun. So I decided I want to do that, but had no idea that there were like mandatories, there were time limits. So I literally went out and did a routine. And then afterwards, the judges came up and they said, you've got a lot of talent. You're not afraid to perform, but you might need to research this a little bit more. There's some specifics that you have to do. And so from that point on, I thought, okay, I loved that time on stage. I loved the creative aspect where in our division, you don't have to be a gymnast because I have no formal training, none at all self-taught with gymnastics.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, so it's like, but again, if you have the desire to learn, to challenge yourself, you're not afraid to perform, fitness division is the perfect thing for those type athletes. So I thought, I'm having a blast, 0 expectations. I'm just going to keep continuing. And I loved it. I turned pro my first year of competing in fitness. The very next year, qualified for Olympia. And honestly, I attribute my success in this sport to not focusing on the outcome. I was enjoying the journey. I was enjoying the challenge to myself. And I truly still to this day believe is if I focus on me, what I can bring to the stage, giving it my all, and not focusing on winning and not focusing on making the judges happy, I continue to succeed. So I have to keep focused on doing it for me
Right.
because that's what's always worked. But in reality, I got started out of a dare.
That's an amazing story. And so let me ask this. I think personally that the women's fitness category is the most athletic of the physique sports. You know, we'll go to a bodybuilding competition and we'll see the women in the bikini and the figure and the wellness and even women's bodybuilding and the like. But you know, where you really see the athleticism is in the presentation of the women's fitness category. So for someone that has never seen one, how would you describe that presentation part?
You mean the actual like prejudging in the two-piece, or you mean the routine part?
No, the routine itself.
Okay. Well, for someone who's never seen it, yes, we categorize ourselves as the division that needs to bring the entertainment, the excitement, because for all the other divisions, it's judging the physiques, looking at the aesthetics of it, muscularity. Well, then we come on and it's almost kind of like a guest posing in a way, or a concert where you just come on, you bring the energy, the music, it wakes everyone in the audience up, it brings the hype. And that's our job. Our division is to really kind of entertain. The one thing that's unique about our division is it can be anything. You can be a hip hop dancer, you can be a gymnast, a cheerleader, you can have crazy skills like, you know, maybe martial arts. You bring whatever talent that you have to the stage and you craft a routine around it, but you just end up doing, you have to include specific mandatories. That's it. And then you can use whatever creativity, your music, your costume, your moves to bring the excitement and the level of entertainment.
So let me ask you this. You mentioned before that you had no formal training. There are a lot of competitors that have a gymnastics background. So how did you learn to do what you do?
Well, so again, I kind of go back to growing up when we were little, both our parents worked. So my brothers babysat me. And every summer it became this challenge that they didn't want their little sister hanging out with them. So they'd throw these challenges at me. And we had a neighbor that was a gymnast and she would practice in her front yard and she'd be doing backflips and back handsprings and aerials. So they actually kind of helped me get some of this talent because they dare me to learn an aerial, which is a no-handed cartwheel. And I would spend all week practicing, face planning, you know it. And I would finally get it. And they would have to let me hang out with them and all their friends for a full day. And then the very next day, it would be another challenge. So this was literally my elementary life. And every summer, it was just learning crazy tricks. I would take my pool raft out to the front yard and use it as a mat.
Wow.
So I did learn skills, literally all self-taught on a very basic level. And then in high school, I did cheerleading. I danced for ASU, but it was not like it is nowadays where it's ultra competitive and you go and you travel and you do these competitions. It was very kind of basic. But then as I got into my adult years, I thought, I wonder if I can still do any of these tricks and these flips, and had to kind of learn again on my own. But YouTube is an amazing teacher. And then I thought, how the heck am I going to stand out? Because most fitness girls, literally, I'd say 90% have a gymnastics background.
Right.
So I got to be different. What could I do that's different? So I decided to learn breakdancing. I mean,
wow,
it's crazy, right? But I thought this will be totally different. So that's kind of been my niche the last several years that's helped me stand apart because I bring something different to the stage. Now, granted, I can still flip and do those things. And the greatest thing about fitness division is that it's not a gymnastics routine where they're judging on technicality. So I don't do anything the proper way. My technique is not correct, But if I land it, that's all that matters, right? So it doesn't matter my set, how I get around. They just want to be entertained. So you can do all sorts of variations of tricks that work for you. And that's what I've kind of done, is just using what I learned from those years with my brothers daring me growing up to now creating something that's amazing, eye-catching, leaves the audience wanting more.
So now here's something that I wanted to tell you that just jumped out at me. You know, I saw you on an interview, and you've won that Fitness Olympia 3 times, which is just an amazing feat. But I was just blown away when I learned that you won one of those competitions with a broken leg. Can you tell us about that incident and how you dealt with this challenge mentally?
Well, it definitely was tough. That was 2021. So I was not able to compete last year. Unfortunately, I'm prepping this year, so getting back on stage. But 2021 was my last Olympia. I was actually out in Florida. It was the week of the show. I was doing a routine run through and had a mishap with one of my flips, broke my leg. So this was 3 days before the show.
Wow.
And, sadly, throughout life, again, because I'm a daredevil, I've had a lot of injuries. I've literally broken almost every bone. I've had 18 surgeries. So I'm used to injuries. And I think that's kind of what set me up for this. Not to mention, years earlier, my worst injury was I broke my neck. And Generation Iron 3 was doing their documentary. They were actually documenting that, my comeback from breaking my neck and getting back to the stage. And that was probably the biggest lesson that helped me with the 2021 Olympia with the broken leg, is because as I was coming back from a broken neck, I had set a goal that I would be back on stage 9 months later. Well, I was doing well. And then 4 weeks out, I tore my ACL and my MCL.
Oh my gosh.
And I thought, well, I can't bow out now. Everyone's been telling me there's no way you'll get back on stage. Your career is over. You broke your neck. You're in the hardest division. Just throw in the towel. So I kept everything under wraps. I mean, everyone knew I broke my neck. I have a 12-piece cage in my neck that they had to put in to make sure I could function again. But I was set to get on stage. I wanted to prove everyone wrong, that your life is not over. Like, you can do things if you believe you can, and you do it safely, and you do it within the proper guidelines. My goal was to get back on stage. I did not know if that was going to be at the same Whitney people were used to. But then when I tore my ACL, my surgeon said, you got to get this repaired. I mean, it's MCL, ACL, had some tears in the meniscus. He's like, it really doesn't get worse. And I said, all right, well, I have the Arnold. I need to have surgery after that. And he's like, you are crazy. I'm like, well, I know this, you know this. So let's keep moving. Let's put our plan in action. So I didn't tell anyone. And I went on stage, and I think just the grit to prove people wrong again, and also give people hope. There was so much stuff out there. You know, when I was in rehab after breaking my neck, it was almost like doomsday with anyone that had a neck injury, like your life is over. And I thought there's got to be a happy ending somewhere. And I couldn't find that. So I thought, all right, I'm going to set this as my goal to be that hope, that idea that you have life after breaking your neck and you can get back to living. So that was what I had in my head, and I was just focused, tunnel vision. Well, I ended up winning the Arnold.
Amazing.
And it was totally unexpected, torn ACL. So I essentially did a routine with 2 bad arms, because after my neck surgery, you don't have the strength. Your upper body is just kind of And then I only had 1 leg. So I thought, my God, if I can do this and win my first world championship title with literally 1 leg, then when I had the 2021 broken leg, I thought, I have 2 arms and I've got 1 leg. So I'm in a much better position.
That's amazing.
And you just don't give it energy. I said, nobody look at my leg. No one ask about my leg. Again, I kept it quiet. So there was just a few in my camp that knew. And I said, it's going to be fine. It's still going to be broken after the show. So let's not acknowledge it. And I just had to change my routine and come up with a new routine. Never got to practice it. So what you saw on stage was my visualized routine where I took out and replaced things that I really couldn't do
Wow.
and tried to just execute what I could.
So what I'm hearing there is that you're the comeback kid. Nothing is going to stop you. And so the way that you're looking at this, if I've got an injured leg, I still have 2 arms and another leg. So that's 3-1. I'm going to make it work somehow. So let me ask you this. Was that something that was just always innate to you? You know, this looking at the glass half full, you know, or is that something that you learned along the way or taught yourself?
Honestly, it was something that I started implementing myself. I went through a phase where it was really difficult in my life. So to be honest, within a very, very short period of time, I lost my mom, who was my best friend, and my family is super close. That was obviously devastating. It came fast and furious with a cancer diagnosis. So that kind of really put me in a hole. And then unfortunately at the same time, I experienced a divorce, again, something totally unexpected. And those are 2 big things in life that truly can cripple you. It can destroy you. And I went through a very thankfully small phase of just decline. And I thought, I have 2 young boys and this will impact their life if I don't change this. So I said, no more, no pity party. I'm not the only person in the world who deals with hard stuff, who's dealt with a death, who's dealt with divorce. So pick yourself up and find a way to use this and fuel yourself for good. Fuel yourself for positivity. Do not let this affect your kids. They need to see a strong pillar of hope, of strength. And so that became my mantra. And honestly, that was early in my fitness career where I thought nothing can stop me. There is always a positive that you can find. And sometimes it may not be easy, but I started adopting this motto of H2G2. I don't have to, I get to. And I still implement it to this day. You know, again, I don't have to compete at Olympia. I get to, whether I'm injured or not. Go out and give it your best, because do you know how many people would love that opportunity who would never get it? So don't take advantage of it. If there is a way I can do it, then do it at the best of your ability. And again, don't worry about the outcome, but show up. In every business venture, starting a business, there's that scare, you know, oh my gosh, there's risk. Can I do that? Who cares? You got to try it. And if you fail, you learn from it, pick up from it. So it was all these things of just going, find the positive. Do not sit in this self-doubt. Do not sit in fear. Do not sit in this pity party mentality, because guess what? My boys are watching. And so as a mother, that was one of the things. I mean, granted, we all have bad days still.
Right.
But I go back to what I learned years ago to say, hey, you've become successful. You've done some amazing things in life. Why? Because you choose positivity. That is something we can control. You can't control all the stuff that happens to you. You can't always control some of these bad things. You can control how you respond. You can control what you learn from it. And I wanted my boys to see that, not by me telling them, but by them just witnessing it. And so for me, that was the biggest impact of going, okay, I'm going to do some amazing things in my life. You got one life. And I'm not going to allow any noise or any doubt to stop me. And I'm not going to allow negativity. So on any of those days where that creeps in, I can find my way out of it within 5 minutes of just stepping back, taking some deep breaths, and realizing, what am I doing this for? And what do I want to represent? What do I want my legacy to be? And it gets you out of it real quick.
You know, and that ties into something I've heard you say before, which is living fearlessly. Now, Whitney, one of the most important mental techniques I've ever learned, and you know, when you mentioned, you know, just kind of resetting your mind frame, one of the most important things I've ever learned that helps me is something called reframing, you know, which has a lot to do with shifting the viewpoint about the way in which you look at something that's happening. And I think that that's captured really well by that expression that you use, H2G2. that you don't have to, that you get to. I'm going to segue into this. I'm also a big believer in having an attitude of gratitude. I think
Yes.
that people oftentimes get too focused on the negative things of their life, and they don't think enough about all the positive things that are going on, the things that are going right. What are your thoughts on this?
100%. And I think sadly, it's our culture now is pulling back from that, where it's like there's no appreciation for anything. It's this entitlement, and it's got to stop in reality. And yes, most people who are in that depressed state, who are down, who are negative, they don't have an attitude of gratitude. And that's how they stay in that place for so long. They can't pull out of it. And the reality is, you're wasting your days, you're wasting your time. There's some bad situations for people, obviously, but there is always a way to find a positive outlook. And for those who are severely depressed or really struggling, you've got to reach out for help. If you can't get out of it yourself, allow someone else to help you, whether it's family, friends, or a stranger who is used to and knows how to help pull you out. But you have that choice. And if you're not in a good space, find a way out of it. Crawl, do whatever you have to, but keep trying. And then for, anyone who does, again, I look at my life and go, what do I have to complain about? That is ridiculous. If you hear me complaining, boo hiss. Like, no one has sympathy for me. I am very fortunate to live the life I have. And again, if you can think back to, would anyone want to trade places with me? I guarantee you there is someone in the world who would trade in a heartbeat. And if that's the situation, then you have a reason to be grateful. So
Absolutely.
you've got to find a way to look at the bigger picture. Otherwise, you are wasting days, hours. You're wasting your life on the negative mindset that will get you nowhere.
That's exactly right. I've also heard you say, make progress, not excuses. And I got to tell you that I love that. Just putting one foot in front of the next and just making progress.
Yep. I mean, there's a lot of people who will. It's especially in our fitness industry. Oh, I wish I could do that. Really? Well, you can. You got to knock off the excuses.
Exactly.
So it doesn't matter how that applies to your life. We find that we will make excuses unless it's important. And when it's important, you find a way to make it happen. So figure out what your priorities are and find a way to make it happen, because there is always a way. There always is. I firmly believe that. If someone wants to challenge me, then have at it.
So people often set goals, right? They create goals for themselves, but seldom take the time to outline the steps necessary to reach their goals. Do you have a specific goal setting and goal attainment process that you use or that you teach your clients?
Both, honestly. So especially when it applies to the sport. So right now, the only show I do is Olympia each year. And again, I've won it 3 times. Amazingly happy about that. But that doesn't mean there's not room for improvement. So every year, the day after Olympia, no matter how I've done, win, lose, whatever, I'm always analyzing, all right, what did I do right? I obviously try to give myself credit for the things that I focused on and did achieve. And then I go, okay, what do I really want to change for next year? And once I outline those goals, how am I going to achieve it? Whether it's a new skill, say I want to learn some crazy flip. That doesn't happen overnight. Same thing
Right.
with, okay, I want to build bigger glutes. I want to work on rounder, fuller shoulders. Those things don't happen overnight. So it's almost a quarterly type look back to go, okay, how am I going to get there? Well, for example, if it's a skill, am I going to start learning, studying the technique? How do you do it? Do I consult with someone to teach me how to do it? Whether it's a body part I'm looking to improve, I start researching different strategies where, working with a sports therapist to understand, do I have muscles that are locked down that are preventing me from allowing me to make those improvements to my physique? So you have to set these ideas on not just, oh, I'm going to do it, but yes, to your point, how am I going to get there? So what progress do I need to make within that first quarter and the second quarter, third, fourth? And I do the same thing in regards to my personal life. What do I want to improve in regards to For example, this year, it was being more involved with my boys' football team and volunteering. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to, be part of the Boosters Club. I'm going to help with these events. Every game, I'm going to do field setup. And then things like I want to make sure I have lunch with my dad at least every other week, have that quality time. With my businesses, how do I want to expand? Which one needs more TLC? Have I kind of been putting on the sideline? So I set it in regards to my personal fitness career, to my business career, and to my personal life. And you have to constantly monitor those to go, okay, am I hitting my goals where I need to, or have things shifted where maybe that's not such a priority right now because other things have become more important. And personal goals will always be the number one priority for me. My family, my boys will always take precedence over my businesses as well as my fitness career.
Now, Whitney, I'm just to inject a little humor. You mentioned, and that was such a wonderful response, and certainly a game plan that any of us can use for goal setting. But you mentioned that you were getting more involved with your boys' football team, and helping out. Now, I gotta imagine when you show up and these guys say, "This is my mom." It's like the guys just got to fall about the place because you're probably in better physical shape than half the football team.
Yeah, it's kind of a joke that you guys don't mess with Brody or Jake because their mom she'll get you. She's not going to stand for anything. So it's kind of worked in their favor. However, my boys, like my oldest, is 6'2" and 245, so he can hold his own.
He's a big boy. Yeah,
he's a Whitney, big boy. Yeah.
He is a big boy. When I think of you, I don't laugh. I think of Superwoman. Okay, not only are you at the top of professional women's fitness, you're also a successful businesswoman. You have those two wonderful boys that they have to be so proud of you. So what do they think about you, and what are you teaching them about fitness and nutrition?
Well, it's interesting because everyone always said growing up, oh my gosh, are your boys like in every sport? I was the type mom that I did not push them. I wanted them to express, oh, I have a desire to try this sport. Because if they're wanting it out of their own heart, or maybe their friends are playing, it's going to be a much easier sell being like, all right, let's go to practice. Let's go to games. So they tried lots of sports growing up. And, for them too, I believe in mirroring and setting the example versus preaching it. And it's worked well because growing up, I would hear them tell friends or other parents, family members, I see my mom is so tired at night, but she still gets up because she's got a show. And they used to, call it they thought it was the Olympics. And, she has to prep for it, but, she's working and she owns multiple businesses, but she still stays focused on her goals. This was in elementary school. So those type things had an impact. And now I see it with their schoolwork. I see that they are not giving up. They don't make excuses. They give everything they can to their sport. They work on, the recovery aspects because they see me doing that. So it does help because as a mom, if you're setting that example, if I do have to verbalize it, I'm walking the walk and I'm talking the talk to help set them up to succeed. And it's great because they do. They've been at Olympia with me. They've been there when I've won and, seen the huge event because for years being young, they didn't understand the sport. And their first year going to Olympia and seeing, my photo on elevators and billboards, they're like, oh my gosh. Wow. And then to be in the venue, they're like, Mom, you're kind of a big deal. It's like, I'm just mom to them. But it was neat to see them appreciate that. And then they get involved. They help. I own a gym here in Arizona. So they help around the gym. I have shows that I'm a show promoter. So every year they're helping with promoting the shows and working and backstage. So they're involved in several aspects of it, which it's so great because they see the work ethic and they want to be involved. And they know that whatever they decide to do in their future, whether it's fitness related, if they want to be, business, whatever, I'm going to support it because I know in their heart that's truly what they want.
You have set a great example for them, and I think that it's really special that you have involved them in your business. Let's talk a little bit about your businesses. You have the Pro Physiques personal training gym. What's the story behind your gym? Because I've heard it's quite successful.
Yeah, well, thank you. We love to hear that. So we're in Arizona, have owned the gym for 13 years, and we've had to expand 3 times because
Wow.
it's continued to get bigger and bigger. Now, moving a gym is no easy feat. So that's like, wow. But it's great because our prep team is called the Pros, and we have some of the top athletes in the female divisions, like Sid Gillen, for example, 6-time Ms Figure Olympia is one of our clients.
Wow.
We train so many different pros from all the women's categories, so from all over the world. So literally our gym is kind of the who's who, where you always have some pro from some area of the world that is in at least 1 time a week. So we train, it's not just prep clients that we train lifestyle clients. We have 15 full-time trainers at our gym. We do classes. It's membership based as well, but it's become a great community here in Arizona where if you're just a lifestyle client who wants to continually be motivated, you have these all-star badass athletes who are in and out of the gym all the time. We train athletes from all sports, couples. We have some clients who are in their 70s just killing it in the gym. So it's a gym for everyone, and it's this massive family. And then, of course, we have these elite Olympian athletes. And it's pretty incredible that are just in and out just like everyone else.
It's an amazing environment that you've created there for them, and it's highly motivational. Now, let me ask you this. As far as the inexperienced clients, the lay people, what kind of program do you recommend for them in terms of exercise and diet? If somebody's coming to you for the first time, I haven't worked out in a while, I don't know how to eat. How do you start them out?
So basically, the biggest thing is understanding, number one, what are their goals and what is their background? If they've truly not done anything, and we do get that, we may have a client who comes in mid-30s, they've never really been part of the gym, very intimidated. It's all about getting them comfortable and not taking them from 0 to 60, because otherwise they're going to give up. But it's working with them to go, okay, let's work on nutrition. What's going to work best for you? What's your eating style? Do you need a specific set plan? Do you think macros? Do you like variety? How many days are you working out? If it's someone who's done nothing, you start them out 2 days a week and maybe a third cardio day. Everything is very customized for clients, truly based on their background and what they want to achieve. Now, granted, as I'm sure you're familiar with, we have some people who are like, so I have a goal. I'm going to lose 60 pounds in 3 months. I've got a wedding. And you're like, not going to happen. Not going to happen.
Yeah.
So, we are very realistic because from the get-go with all our staff, it's do not set someone up for failure.
Right.
If this is something new, they're coming to you as an expert. It's your job. They're paying you to be honest with them, to encourage them, but you've got to set realistic expectations. But that's where people really thrive and succeed because we don't sugarcoat. We're going to guide you. If you're not following up on your end of the plan, we're going to call you out on it because we're not going to allow you to waste your money. Our goal is to get you where you want to be and have taught you enough about yourself that you can continue on without a trainer. You don't need that forever. Now, if you want it for accountability, absolutely. But truly, we haven't done our job if you haven't learned how you lost weight. How was your workouts modified? Why was your diet changed? Why was cardio added or decreased? All of that is a learning process because everyone is so different. So the program is about you. It's our job to teach you how to be successful and maintain it.
I love the fact that you guys emphasize teaching the how and teaching them how to do it themselves because a lot of times trainers fail to do that. They go through the motions with the clients. Whitney, is there anything that we haven't covered that you want to share with our viewers?
The biggest thing that I would say, and you and I have kind of talked about this, I love what I do. I feel very fortunate that I have won titles because it's opened up the platform to help people realize you can achieve anything. Like I should never, if you look at me on paper, my age starting in this sport was so late. Me opening now, I have 5 businesses. I'm a single mom with 2 crazy busy kids. The things that I've been able to achieve never should have happened if you look at things on paper. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen. And so the one thing I have loved about being in this sport and having an opportunity to be on podcasts like yours and talk to different audiences all over the world is to help inspire and motivate them to go, hey, what is it I want to achieve? And I always tell people, set your goals, set your dreams. And when you share it with someone, if their response is, you're crazy, then you know you're onto something. You know that you can do it, because if you thought it and believed it and someone thinks you're crazy, that means you've set your goal high enough and
That's
work
right.
to get there, no matter what it is. So the biggest thing I'd say is if there's anything I can do for anyone out there, I love motivating, inspiring, sharing my story, sharing my learning experiences all these years. I'm happy to chat with anyone, to share any experiences. I just want to make a positive impact on people's lives. And being in the position I am now as an athlete, as a business owner, I hope that I can reach, larger audiences. So the biggest thing is don't ever sell yourself short. You've got one life to live and no one wants to look back and regret. So whatever it is you are thinking or that's in the back of your head just won't go away, go for it. What do you have to lose? If it doesn't work out, you're back to square one anyways, but you tried.
Exactly.
And if you aren't happy with that, try again or set a new goal. But live life to the fullest. And I know it sounds so cliche, but gosh, it's like every year I'm like, ooh, what new things am I going to achieve this year? What new hobbies am I going to get into? It's the sky's the limit, truly. When you believe in your potential and you have good work ethic, it's a no-brainer. I would have never thought 10 years ago that I would be doing anything like I am now. And that's what excites me. What am I going to achieve in the next 5 years or the next 10 years? Who knows? The story's yet to be written.
I love your drive and your enthusiasm for helping others. And where can our viewers find out more information about you? Where can they follow you?
The easiest I'd say is Instagram. So it's Whitney Jones _IFBB Pro. I also have a website, fitwitjones.com. And social media typically feeds from my Instagram account to the others, Facebook, etc. But I love to be a jokester. I'm doing constant shenanigans. I post about my boys. I obviously post fitness content and real stuff too. But yeah, if you follow me, I hope you like memes. I hope you like to laugh and be entertained, because that's what my platform's about. It's about spreading happiness, laughter, and knowledge.
I love your energy. Do you do online training? And if so, where can they find that?
I do. So that would be through my website, fitwitjones.com. There's a section that you can email. And again, whether it's lifestyle clients trying to lose weight, gain weight, sports-specific training, or if you're interested in getting in the sport to prep, I work with all types of clients.
Whitney, thank you so much. It's been just amazing today. And I'm so glad that you decided to come on our show.
Yes, I appreciate it, and I can't wait to see you in person. I'm sure I'm going to see you in a couple weeks, and of course for years.
I'll see you then. Yes. Yeah. So we have the Olympia Championships coming up in a few weeks, and I'll be seeing you there for sure. Hey guys, help us to grow the Lee Labrada Show by sharing this podcast with one of your friends, and be sure to hit the subscribe button and make sure you leave some comments below, because it helps me to understand what you guys want to see. All right, you guys, stay motivated, get up, and look up. God bless you.
The Lee Labrada Show.